Lord have mercy. I had to sit up for this one. We're about to get deep and I'm going to try to keep it short. If you notice, the videos in my red sweater are much shorter than the rest of my videos because these are the ones I'm re-recording after accidentally deleting all my mother files. And as I was editing, I realized I talk a lot. So now I have my journal with my notes and I'm going to try to keep it concise. So yes, it was a blessing in disguise. Otherwise, you guys would not enjoy this season half as much. So anyway, here is the topic. 5 reasons why I believe you should stay intentionally single, at least for a period of your time. So let's get into it. Of course, this is going to have a backstory. When I was a little bit younger, I realized that from the age that I had started dating up until at the time my most recent relationship, I had spent all of those years dating with shorter periods of singleness in between, and I hadn't allowed myself the opportunity as an adult in my career to be single, and I wanted to find out what that was like. And for other reasons, I also knew at the end of my last relationship that there was a lot of inner work that I needed to do within myself, baggage that I didn't want to carry into a new relationship and so on. And I decided to really focus on myself. And after being single for quite a long time, intentionally, which intentionally means yes, I had people slide into DMs. Yes, I had people approach me. Yes, I had people ask me for my numbers, all of that. And I made the intentional decision to say, I'm happily single and reject and deflect because I knew it wasn't my time, and I let go of what was good so that I could allow space into my life for what was great. All right, so 5 reasons to stay intentionally single. 1, to learn yourself. And what I mean by that is learning who you are outside of a significant other. I don't mean your significant other, like who you are with or who you have been with for a long time. I mean, who are you outside of a partner, point blank, period. Because when you are someone who is always in a relationship, even though every relationship is different, a big part of your identity becomes you and a +1. And I think it's important to find out, who am I without anyone in my life? Who am I without a significant other's opinion that I keep in my life consistently? Who am I during holidays, during trips, during building projects and things in my life when I am the only priority and I'm the only person I'm really thinking about? And believe me, this will push you so much, and it will really make you have some introspection and self-discovery. And I didn't write this in my notes, but it's worth saying that as an adult, I think this carries more weight, especially when you've already moved out of your place, out of your parents' place, and you have your own place. Being without a significant other really allows you to hone into, and then this is my creative side talking, but honing into your home system, your routine, your space, what decor. I know this sounds silly, but it's what kind of decor do I want? What kind of ambiance do I want? How do I want my environment to be, versus what do we want together? And I think it really allows you to step into your individuality, because usually when you live with your parents, it's you're under their domain, their home, their decor, their stuff. And then you move out. If you move out directly out of their place into a place with your significant other, let's say, you're again kind of sharing this space. And there's nothing like having a space completely to yourself and just doing whatever the heck you want. I don't know, paint every single wall a different color. It's your place, So having that creative freedom will allow you to really explore who you are outside of someone else. Okay, number 2, it helps you become great at doing things solo by yourself. And this is something that I learned. It really helps you kill any codependency and it helps you appreciate your future partner. So let me talk about that very briefly. A lot of times, again, when we're with our parents and then we move out by ourselves and we add a significant other to our lives, or we already have a significant other, we're usually relying on them to share these activities with us, share travels with us, go to like that new restaurant we want to try, or that movie that we want to watch, that trip that we want to go on. And we do all of these things, or a lot of these things, with a significant other. And being intentionally single allows you to do these things if you push yourself to do them alone. And when you do, it teaches you how to be content in your own company. If you're not, it'll highlight the reasons why you're not content in your own company, and then you can work on it. But then most importantly, I think it helps kill some of that codependency, because if you're working on yourself and you're adding all these things into your life, when you meet your significant other, they are likely going to have a very full life too, which means that they are not going to have all of this time to dedicate to you. And that is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, because the time that you spend with your partner is not out of quote unquote necessity, but because you want to spend that time together. Like, you crave to spend time with them, and it becomes a much more intentional time. And yes, it helps kill codependency, I think, a little bit. And it helps you learn to appreciate your partner, because when you've done all these solo things for a while, when you actually have that helping hand, and someone to contribute to your love languages in some way, wow, it really means a lot, because you know what it's like to do that by yourself. For example, if you learned how to do a solo trip often, then when you have a significant other and you guys get the opportunity to plan it together, and you're not asking random strangers for a picture of you, and you don't have to plan all the accommodation by yourself, you learn to appreciate your partner a lot more. Same thing as when you've been by yourself and in the trenches of cleaning your entire place, doing your own laundry, cooking all the time, always being the one to take out your dog or whatever, and you have a significant other. Believe me, you will notice that one time that they wash the dishes, or they vacuum for you, or they take care of your dog, or whatever it may be. I think it really allows you to have gratitude in someone's life, because you know what it is to carry the weight of your entire life on your shoulders, that when someone does something for you, you really appreciate it, and you can recognize the thoughtfulness behind it. And you're not even expecting it, because you're so independent that when they do it, it's awesome. Anyway, that's just my convoluted perspective. Number 3, you create a life that you love so much that you can never lose. And what I mean by that is, when you're focused on your career, your hobbies, bettering yourself, reading the books that you like, having great friendships, traveling, or whatever that looks like for you, you love your life so much that adding a significant other into your life is kind of this cherry on top. But here's the thing: if things don't work out, let's say the significant other takes up 20% of your life, your day to day, if things don't work out, you have 80% of your life still going and waiting for you. And that is all, of course, in the motion that when you obtain a significant other in your life, you don't go off the rails and then just do everything entirely with them, and you lose your identity, and you stop doing all of these things for you. Everything you do for yourself should continue, and now you make time and space for a significant other to maybe share some of those things that you do by yourself with, and to also create your own things together apart from your individual lives. So I really love that. You create a life that you love so much that you just can't lose. If things with that person don't work out, I mean, yes, it's going to be a rough patch, but hey, you'll be fine, you'll survive, and life will continue. All right, number 4, you can use the void to dial in completely on your projects. And what I mean by the void is all of these moments where you're oh, I'm so sad, or it's not even sometimes about being sad. It's just sometimes not having something to do. even when you're by yourself, it doesn't always mean you have to go and do something. This void in your life is something that you can fill with projects, with hobbies, with things you want to accomplish, because you don't have a significant other to keep, to keep in mind. Like, your weekend plans are always free, quote unquote. And you're not thinking, oh, but like my significant other might want to do something this weekend or blah, 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 blah. You're just like, no, every single day is completely just for you. And you get to do with it whatever the heck you want without having to kind of like keep somebody up to date with what's going on in your life. And it is the perfect time to dial in on crazy ass projects, whether it be like creating a YouTube channel, I don't know, like embarking on some solo travel, or heck if I know, like whatever crazy project you want to do. This is a great time that you can dial in on it. And last but not least, number 5, and I think this is one of the most important ones, of a reason why I believe everyone should allow themselves the opportunity to be intentionally single, is because it allows you to become disciplined and mentally calloused. And what I mean by that is, when you decide to say, hey, I'm going to take X amount of period of time to be intentionally single, it really allows you to become a little bit selfish in the way that you are mentally prioritizing yourself, like your own well-being. You're sexually becoming disciplined in the fact that you're not out here. Now, don't get me wrong. You could be out here thirsting, because like the thirst does get real, guys. Like, I ain't even gonna lie. The Hunger Games are the Hunger Games for a reason. But when you decide to, hey, I'm not out here looking for that, because I'm being intentionally single for X or Y reasons, because I want to work on myself, I want to better myself. When you have some, like a hottie with a body, come talk to you, and you know that person does not align with your values, or they don't have anything positive to contribute to your life. Like you kind of start to build this corporal discipline, like this sexual discipline of foregoing some of that temporary pleasure for the long-term gains of whatever it is that you're working on. Like, you obtain this life that you love, that you're not just going to throw it out the window for a hottie with a swimmer's body. So I think that that's very important. And you become emotionally callous too. Like, when you start to prioritize yourself, you create confidence and self-respect. And I think that emotionally allows you to go into relationships with a much clearer thinking mind. And again, not looking for someone to fill in the void, but looking for someone whose life you contribute to, and that they can contribute to your life as well. Your time is your most precious commodity. So it would behoove us, it would behoove all of us to find someone that is worth investing our time into, and that we are invested into as well. Like, that is a relationship. It takes two to tango, which means that there's give and there's take, and hopefully there is compatibility there. And I think one of the best ways to understand who is that compatible person for me is taking the time to be intentionally single, to really like kill the codependency, learn how to be great by yourself, learn to like build a life that you love, so that your SO is a SO and not your entire life. And that, you're just, it helps you just build so much goodness in your life, that nothing can shake that. Nothing can shake that. Like, yes, breakups and everything are rough, but you can tell yourself, hey, I'm gonna be fine. Like, I have a whole beautiful life, and I love it, and life will continue. And like, I think at the end of the day, like, I wouldn't say that's the goal, but that's part of the dream. So those are 5 reasons why I think everyone should take the time to be intentionally single at some point in their adult life. I know this is true for me. Let me know in the comments what you think. Have you taken the time to be intentionally single? Do you agree with what I've said? Disagree? Do you think that's not the way? Like, I'm really interested. I love hearing people's perspective on this, because all of us have such different backgrounds, stories, And I mean, and it's a touchy topic too. So I was like, you know, we can get spicy. So I really like this, and thank you for being here, and I'll catch you on the next episode, hustlers.